Playing guitar is easy when you have the expensive stuff like the Prophecies that I reviewed, the EC256 by LTD, the Xtura and other Explorers, all expensive stuff, but can you play properly with the SG Special Satin, for example? Or let's say the affordable Melody Maker here. I've already demonstrated with the Les Paul version of the Special Satin that you can play with affordable guitars, yes, but at a cost, because there's a lot of cost cutting involved in the making of these guitars. So I'm gonna check out if you should buy this one. Let's say that you've just decided that you want to pick up guitar playing and for some reason you like the SG shape, either because of AC/DC or for some other reason unknown to me. If, like most beginners, your budget is extremely limited, your only option is the SG Special Satin for $200. There are a couple steps up, like the Epiphone SG Standard, which is almost $500, or under the modern SG section of the website you got stuff like the SG Muse that I had in the shop here, and it was a nice guitar, but still around $500. Ignore the power player guitars because they're smaller, they have shorter scale lengths, and I wouldn't suggest this one either, although they are under $300, but they don't feel like a full-blown SG. So if you want a regular size SG, the equivalent of the guitar that I'm demonstrating for you today is the SG Special Satin E1 for $200 in the Epiphone website, but it no longer comes with the vintage edition or the worn finish. It comes with vintage worn ebony and the cherry. This one is actually pretty nice. Keep one thing in mind though, these are the most affordable guitars that you can buy. They have poplar bodies instead of mahogany, bolt-on neck construction. They are made using the most affordable materials, electronics and hardware. Now let me try and break it down for you. The final price of this guitar is $200, meaning that in this budget they have to fit the wood materials, the hardware, the electronics, the finish and the labor. And mind you, they have to fit all that not in $200 but under $100, so they turn a profit. So you can bet your ass that for $100 they're putting the most affordable, I'm gonna straight up say the cheapest materials, hardware, pickups and electronics that you can possibly buy. As a result, these guitars are inconsistent in their quality. Some of them turn up okay, not great but okay, like the Les Paul Special that I reviewed, but this SG definitely has some issues. The cheap truss rod is not working as it should, meaning that I cannot do a proper setup. The fretwork is bad as expected from most of these guitars. The pickups are muddy as hell and the three-way switch is not working. At least the bridge intonates properly. In the end of this video I'm gonna give you my point of view of should you be buying a guitar like this one with the idea to upgrade it later on. Because that's what a lot of people do. They buy these guitars and start swapping parts. Anyway, let's see what this guitar is made of. The body is made out of poplar, the neck is made out of the cheapest grade mahogany, a bolt-on neck construction for these guitars, a separate piece for the headstock, the old style of the headstock and the most affordable tuners that you can get, plastic nut, 22 jumbo frets, Powell ferro fingerboard, 650R, 700T pickups, tunematic bridge and a tailpiece, master volume, master tone, three-way switch. Around 14 at the bridge, around 8 at the neck and around 6 in the middle position. The Special, being an affordable guitar, has only two knobs, the master volume that controls both pickups and the master tone again for both pickups, and the three-way switch which selects your bridge, neck or both pickups. It's always the same with these affordable guitars, the three-way switch, the output jack The nut, the tuners, it's always bad. It's only a matter of time until they stop working, in this case straight out of the box for the 3-way switch. To pneumatic bridge and a tailpiece, the bridge looks like the lock tone, but it's not locking, just your typical cheapest Epiphone bridge, the logo on the bottom, individual cellos held in place by a single spring. It is the lowest quality bridge that you can put on an Epiphone, and usually it doesn't intonate properly. Thumb wheel and flathead screwdriver adjustable for the height of the bridge. The tailpiece at least looks substantial, the Epiphone logo on the bottom feels good, so if you wanna upgrade something on this guitar, definitely swap out the bridge. The top of the SG is flat with cutaways along both horns and alongside the entire length of the body, especially here on the top for comfort. Looks like a completely natural finish, but it has a thin layer of polyurethane on top of it. It also features a 2-ply pick guard that I took off to demonstrate for you guys. White on the bottom, black gloss on the top side. The SG looks cool without it too. It's held in place by 5 of these short screws. Bolt-on construction for the neck, one piece the cheapest grade of mahogany, and the fingerboard is made out of Pau Ferro. It's an extremely affordable material. It's supposed to look like rosewood, but it feels pretty rough, and as you can see, the frets are not polished. Maybe you don't realize by the photos, but this neck has black binding, which is pretty cool, white side dot inlays and plastic dot inlays. The fingerboard definitely feels rough, that's how it came out of the box. The frets definitely can benefit from some polishing. That's exactly what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna freshen it up. I've used F1 fingerboard oil by Music Nomad to condition and oil the fingerboard, and for the frets to make them shiny again, Frine by Music Nomad. Speaking of the frets, as expected, they have a lot of overhang, they scratch, and some of them are unlevel. And it's expensive to give it to a guitar tech to make them properly level. Unfortunately, there's no Kalamazoo headstock for the Special. A black satin veneer on top of that mahogany headstock, and the cheapest possible plastic nut. It's not new bone, it's not Graphtec, these plastic nuts cost around $2. More cost cutting with the silver silkscreen Epiphone logo. And something that I absolutely hate, these 14:1 ratio cheapest tuners that you can put on an Epiphone. And the worst part about them is that you cannot swap them easily with better ones because the holes for them are smaller than the regular tuners. The hole for the truss rod looks like this, a 2-way adjustable truss rod which is not functioning properly for this guitar. It is covered by the Epiphone bell with SG written on it, 2-ply, black and white, held in place by 3 screws. The nut is 43mm wide or 1.69 inch. The 12th fret is at 53.2mm or 2.09 inches. Thickness at the first fret 20.5mm or 0.80 inch. Thickness at the 12th fret a bit thicker, 23.3 or 0.91 inch. Thin body for the SG at 1.40 inch. The distance between the pickup rings is closer to the one found on the Les Paul Epiphone. Fingerboard radius of 305mm or 12 inches as expected for an SG. Epiphone are calling this a 60s slim taper D-shaped neck profile. A made in China sticker near the bolt-on neck construction with the 4 screws. Following this one-piece neck all the way here to the stickers, you see under them there's a line connecting the headstock to the one-piece neck. Ironically, there's a QC inspection sticker on here, and don't throw it away in the trash. Here's the back of the 14:1 ratio tuners that I absolutely hate. If you wanna swap something on these guitars, change the tuners and the bridge. I don't recommend you upgrade these guitars, but if you absolutely have to, swap these out. I recommend you just buy a better guitar. We got 2203 made in March of 2022 and the 13 is the code for the Chinese factory. Here's what the cover for the electronics compartment looks like. I was surprised that it has shooting on the back side, which is pretty neat, and it fits, which is rare on affordable guitars. It was cut properly. The factory setup is pretty much non-existent. The height of the bridge is not properly adjusted, the height of the pickups as well. The truss rod is not working properly, so I'm gonna try and adjust the truss rod, the pickup height and the bridge height. I'm extremely surprised that the bridge is properly intonated. I've adjusted the bridge height and the pickup height. SGs are lightweight, the bodies especially, that's why they have neck dive, almost 6 pounds. Should you buy the SG Special? I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend you save up for the standard or get a second-hand standard. I'm sure there are some good specials out there, but the quality varies from guitar to guitar. As I told you, these guitars are made with the most affordable materials, with the cheapest electronics and hardware, so they can turn a profit. $200 for a guitar these days is an extremely low budget, and I would suggest you save up for a better guitar. And definitely do not buy this guitar with the idea that you will upgrade it later on. There's no point of swapping the tuners, swapping the pickups, etc, because you end up with the same wood, and the quality of the wood in the SG Special is the lowest possible. If you absolutely have to buy the SG Special, play it for a short period of time and then buy another guitar. Do not upgrade it, it's not gonna become much better. Instead of swapping tuners and pickups, save up for the standard or a better guitar.